Hi everyone, so I'm just going to be running through how to make a laser cut file that can actually be used to put a piece of marquetry on a piece of timber. So basically all that means is that you have your base piece of timber, you engrave it with a particular shape or image, and then you have a second piece of timber that's a veneer that's thin, and you cut that same image out that you've engraved and you embed that cutout into the engraving and glue it down, and that makes it marquetry is what my understanding is of it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go down. I've already downloaded a SVG file. I don't think it really matters what kind of file you have, whether it's a JPEG or a PDF or an SVG. But I've just downloaded an SVG file, and I'm going to left click and drag it in. That's fine like that, so left click OK. And just as a quick side note, it's kind of an important thing. It's important to keep this one solid thing, because if you want to cut it out and engrave it, it's got to be, it's going to be easier if it's just one solid object as opposed to separate items like this one I downloaded before. I'll drag it in. When it decides to load. I'll probably have to place this first. So I'll just make this image a bit smaller. That's good size. And I'll place it there. So, sorry, like I was saying before, as you can see in this image here, okay, it's got separate things that aren't attached to the overall tree. So all these little love hearts here, they aren't really attached to the overall tree. So it would be a bunch of different cutouts that would be hard to make a marquetry out of. So I'll just delete that out. And this one, it's a bit thin at times, but you might be able to get away with it. It's just as an example anyway, so we'll just quickly do this. So next I'm just going to go into fill and stroke, because this will give you a nice clean black engraving, consistent. So fill and stroke is there in my sidebar here, but you can also find it in the object menu up the top here, and it's the top selection, second top selection. So fill and stroke, and it will just pop up here. And what you want to do is you want to go into fill and just select the solid square, and just make sure all these are 0. That can be 100, but all these should be 0, and it should be on RGB, flat color. And with the stroke paint, it doesn't really matter, but we'll just change again to square, and same thing, all those should be 0, and that can stay 100, and it's on RGB. We're going to make it 0 anyways, because it'll make actually it might make it 1 just to make the branches a bit thicker at the end. Yeah, that might help. So now we can, and we'll change that later to red for the cutout. So now if you place this on an object, say it was the top of a box, we'll make the box lid, hypothetical box lid. And we'll just make the fill nothing, and the stroke outline will make it a cut line, so 255, 0, 0. And then the stroke style can be 0.001. So now that's the top of the box, hypothetically, and then this will engrave it. And you can change the power of the engraving respectively. You'll probably want to make it a bit deeper than it usually is, so that the cutout is recessed into it a bit more than would usually allow for the engraving. But then what we can do is just go over to the selection tool over here, and I'll select the image. I'll just it will engrave like this, but I'll make it into a vector. Oh, actually, no, this is a SVG, so it already is. It's fine. I think I can expand it. No, it's fine. All right, so if you just copy and paste it and drag it out. This is the second image, and this is going to be our veneer that will sit recessed into the engraving. So you get rid of the fill, that's all you do really, and you change the outline stroke paint to pure red. And then that's going to cut that out so that this will be solid and this will be all cut out for you for that to sit in there. And then just change your stroke style, your stroke width to 0.001 for your laser cutter to recognize. And just make sure it's on lines and stuff. And just enter on that. You can't even see it in the in this in Inkscape, but you'll be able to see it in like Adobe. So I'll just keep it that at 1 just so you can see it. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You just cut that out and then it's able to be recessed. You glue it into that engraving there. So yeah, I'll just save this file. Save as, and you can make it whatever you want, with a PDF or a SVG again, or for Inkscape, I think they go run off the SVG. So I can save it as that. I'll just save it to my desktop. Save. And from there you can hit print and send it to your laser cutter and go from there. Just make sure your color is in the right settings, like color instead of grayscale, and everything else should be fine for that. So yeah, that's how you do it. It'd be a bit different on Adobe and Corel, obviously, but here's just a quick example of how to do it on Inkscape. Just make sure the engraving is black and your cutout is pure red. And oh, there you go, I've found a mistake. Pure red, 255.00, and your stroke style is 0.001, which you can't see on this program, but yeah. All right, too easy. Bye.